Alright, I have a SanDisk USB drive here, and the USB port broke, so I replaced that, and it turns out that there's something else on the logic board that was wrong with it, okay? And it seems like maybe these USB drives are actually kind of a big, could be a big business actually. I think there's a site called Flash Savers or something like that fixes these things, and they actually go pretty deep in analyzing the circuits and stuff like that. I don't really know how they work right now, but I have a handful of USB drive. Usually, just the USB port repairs. Those are fairly simple. That come in every once in a while, but rarely ever ones that have a logic board problem. I have had a few where I essentially just transplanted the um, the NAND chip to another drive, and I still don't quite understand how these things work yet. And it looks like there are different types of NAND drives. You have this one which has a bunch of leads on both sides, and then you have some that are. Let me bring my box out. Hold on. All right. So and then you have some with like a BGA chip. All right, like that, one on both sides, so you can just kind of add another one if you want. And I think those are the two main types. This one right here, it only uses several of the pin, not all the pins. And then you have like different. You have like Toshiba, you have like Hynix, you have like all different kinds of NAND chips. So I don't think there's any like standard uniform USB flash drive. And then you also have these power chips that are different on a lot of these drives. Okay, so it's a little bit complicated to figure out how to do these things. And then I guess sometimes you can just take a NAND chip out, put it into a reader, and then read it that way. But it's just such a complicated process, man. So I guess maybe if you understood how it worked, then maybe you can extract the data fairly reliably, fairly simply, and with a high success rate. Okay, but unfortunately, right now, well, I don't know much about them. I don't know what all these pins do. I don't know, which ones are required, which ones are not required. Are they all required? Some have encryption on them, hardware encryption, and they're just a little complicated. So the repairs that I only take on right now are basically just the broken USB port, which basically just 4 leads and 2 ground leads on the end. That's fairly simple. But this one right here came in for just the USB port repair. But I noticed that there was actually a missing component. Okay, and before I show you the missing component, I'm going to show you these. So these are all the drives that are similar to this one right here. Okay, but like they all look very similar, and they have like serial numbers on the back of them. This one says SDCZ62048, and this one is 2048RB, and etc. But once you pop some of these open, you'll notice that like this one right here. So this one is actually the same. So I ended up finding an exact match for this chip right here. So this one says 2099 00099. This one says 00121. All right. But it looks like the power chip is very similar to that one. So I'm essentially just going to use the missing component from this and put it on that. Hopefully that'll work. Okay. If it doesn't work, then I'll just transfer the chip. Hopefully that'll work. But if you pop like one of these other ones open, which one was it that I popped open? I think it was this one. Okay, so this one looks exactly the same as all these. Okay, look at them. Already broke this puppy already, but well, maybe it's not exactly the same, but looks very, very similar to these right here. Okay, but if you look at the logic board, it's like just totally different. It's not even. It's got one power chip here, which is not the same as this one, and there's really no way of using this one to fix this one, even though The back of it says it's a SanDisk Cruiser, so I don't know. So anyways, it's a little bit complicated, but the best method is probably just to find an exact duplicate, which is actually a pretty hard. I mean, with eBay, you know, sometimes you can find the exact match, but sometimes you're like spending a ton of money just to try to find one that is similar, you know. And even when you do buy one, like I bought this one right here, thinking that it was the same as the one that I'm trying to fix, and popped it open, and it's very different than the one I'm trying to fix. So, anyways, it's not easy, but that's probably the best way to do it. Is find an exact match. So, anyways, let's go back to my repair here. Oops, shit. Here it is. All right, so let's go to the microscope. Okay, so if you look at this power chip right here, this is 2099-00121-1, and after doing a Google search, I noticed that this component right here was missing. Unfortunately, one side is not ground. If one side is ground, then you can probably assume that it's probably a capacitor, and probably don't really need it, you know. But unfortunately, both sides have a diode mode reading. One side is 0.393, the other one is 0.434. So it's probably a resistor of some sort. I don't know, high or low. I don't know if I can just plug one in. You know, I don't really know what to do. I mean, I guess I can probably just try a low resistance or a low value resistor and a high value one, but I don't know exactly the function of that pin. You know, so in order to, you know what, I'm not even going to take it out. So this is an exact match one right here, alright, and it does have this value here, okay, and before I even do anything, I'm just going to make sure that the value of this, the diode mode reading are the same. So it's 0.388, okay, so I'm going to take this off, and then let's take a look to see if, hey Google, turn smoke on. Alright, so I'm going to take this component off, and then I'll measure it again, and hopefully it's the same value. Should be the same value. 0.423. Okay, so it looks like whatever voltage it is here, it just basically, the drop in resistance here normalizes it to the same. I have no idea actually. Anyways, let's see, let's do this first. What the hell? So this is just a filter, or looks like this is just a filter. So maybe I'm wrong actually. Strange. I already tried a filter, I believe. Yeah, I did try a filter. So anyways, let me put this back on. Maybe this is not the problem. Maybe there's something else wrong with it. Who knows? Anyway, so I just transferred it over from my donor one to the new one, and let's plug this in and see if it works or not. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so I plugged it in and this thing came up. So it installed driver and it looks like it is working. So I'm not going to click on this because it's going to show the contents, the directories of the files and stuff like that of my customer, which I don't want to show. But it looks like that was the fix, and it looks like that was a filter. So that was actually an easy one. But for some strange reason, I actually did try a filter and plugged it in, but maybe I plugged it into my Mac and for some reason it didn't recognize it or something. I'm not really sure what happened, but it didn't work when I initially plugged the filter in. So I guess unless maybe the filter that I was using was not the right one or something like that. Anyways, so this was a relatively easy fix, but let's say if, like, you know, a resistor was missing or something like that, then what? You know, how do you fix that? You know, without having schematics and without having another device that's similar to it, you know. So that's probably some people have probably invested some time on learning how to fix these things already, or whoever designed these USB drives, I'm sure they know how to do it. But there's no great resource right now for fixing these things. There's a forum out there that I found. I think it's like HD Guru or something like that. You can use, and it's kind of they have a specific forum dedicated to fixing flash drives. So anyways, this job is done, but if you're not repairing USB drives, I guess this is just another revenue source for a business, but also to help other people in recovering their data, since it's pretty important for them. So anyways, I'm just going to end this video here, and I feel like I've been rambling already, but that's kind of my experience with USB drives. Alright, so thanks for watching. I just wanted to say thank you for watching our YouTube channel. We make these videos to help you guys learn how to do micro soldering for normal repairs. I want to take this time to promote our online course here. We created an online course hosted at udemy.com. If you go directly to Udemy, it's $150. If you go through microsoldering.com, click on store shop, and then click on this first product right here, there's a coupon code that gives you $50 off of our online course. So our online course, it was created by Tom and myself. It contains 4.5 to 5 hours of online video instruction. It'll teach you everything that you need to know to get started with micro soldering. So basically, we start with the basics, just the component level, how to use ZXW tools, how to set up your tools, what kind of tools you need, how to set up your hot air rework stations, use your micro pencil and tweezers and DC power supply and all that stuff. And then we go into actual repairs. So the 4 most common problems are no backlight, no touch, no charge, and loop disease. And with the newer versions of the iPhones, we also have a section on logic board separation, because with the 10 and up, the logic boards come in 2 pieces. So we also have a section on how to separate them and put them back together. And then our last section is all about data recovery. So it's 4.5 hours of just good stuff just to help you get started, okay? And with the way that cell phone repair is going these days, I think it's essential to learn how to do micro soldering for your business. If you're interested, like I said, just go to the website here, microsoldering.com, and click on store shop, and then click on this right here, and you'll get $50 off. So thank you for watching our channel, and hopefully you'll enjoy the course. Thank you.